Welcome to another week of Aussie Tech Hits, episode 532, and it is recorded on the 4th of May 2017. Yes, May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes, and look, you'll see. Look, I'll show you Jason now because he has got a Star Wars background. How's that going? Hey, how you doing, Jace?
Good. Now my chair is stuck.
Well, I'll keep going while you fix your chair.
It's like Starry Night, Star Wars version at the back there. Thanks, Vince.
A starry night. That's a song, wasn't it?
A Starry Wars.
Starry Wars.
Star Warsy night.
Yeah.
You pick it.
Yeah. Are you a big Star Wars fan?
Not huge. I do like and enjoy watching them.
Yeah. I think the last one, not the last one now, the one before was probably my favourite. The one where Harrison Ford got killed at the end.
Spoilers!
Oh, it's a year old. Come on.
I like the last one. Sorry, which? Yes, sorry. I think the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, because I think there was another one just last Christmas, which I haven't seen yet. So.
Oh, sorry. Yes, the prequel to the Hope.
Yeah, that's it.
That's to A New Hope. Yeah.
Yes.
I actually really like that one.
Yeah, that was.
That was better than the Ford one. Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't have Dark Tantrum in it.
No. Oh, no. Okay. No, that's no good. All right. Now, yes, we are brought to you by ATH Web Hosting. Well, you would have heard that at the start. Now, look, we've got heaps of stories tonight, and hopefully we're going to run through them and enlighten you a bit to what's been going on in the tech news, orientated, focus probably and hopefully on Australia, and then we'll sort of meander out a bit. Okay? Don't forget.
But before we start...
Oh, this is his Samsung Galaxy 8 VR.
VR.
Yes. Oh, how does that go? So is that good?
Right. Yes, I love it.
Right.
Absolutely. And it comes with the controller.
Yeah. Now.
And you take out the protective cover there, whack your phone in.
Right.
And away you go. And I've been having so much fun. And so's my girlfriend. You hop in and swim with the dolphins.
Yes.
And they come up to you.
Right.
You can swim with the sea snakes, sea turtles, great white sharks. So they put you in an actual cage like the divers have.
Wow.
And the sharks come and are trying to attack the cage and then swim away.
Wow.
And I've also, they've got, because Disney owns Star Wars, they've got Disney movies specials. So you can watch, they put you into recording a scene at Jakku, which was in the latest Star Wars we were just talking about, and they've got a 360-degree camera there. So, and they're talking about, here are some stormtroopers walking around in costume, and that machine there is an actual army tank. I don't know if it's from World War I or World War II, he says, but it's a real army tank, and the guy driving it is from the army. He's a real tank driver. That's his job. But we've updated it to make it look a bit more spacey and Star Warsy.
Yeah.
They have these people dressed as, and he says, the whole time, as soon as they come out in their costume, they have to start walking around as if we're going to start shooting at any second, because we want to take the actors off guard. We don't want them to know when we're about to start shooting. Right. So suddenly explosions go off and they have to start reacting to it.
Yeah, right.
And then they put you in an X-Wing fighter and you're flying through space, and then they do the jump to hyperdrive and all the stars zoom across your face, and then suddenly you're there and here's this huge star destroyer and it's starting to attack you and all these lasers are going off in space. And then I had a game of fishing, which was quite good. I think it's called Bait. And you sit there and you throw out the line, and then you have to try and catch the fish and reel it in, and you upgrade the fishing line and everything. So it starts you out. You're at a little beach cove, and you're sitting in your deck chair, and you can have a look around and see the beach behind you and the bit of water out here and some trees over there. And as you level up by doing the fishing, they move you to other areas. So they've got a swamp area where it's all murky water that you can't see through very well, and you hear these mosquitoes flying around behind you and all this sort of stuff. And you meet up with this guy called Jim Bob, who runs the local fishing store, and he tells you stories, and you gain points and money by fishing, and then you take the fish to him and sell them and all this sort of stuff. So
Now,
I've been having so much fun.
Now, I want to come back to that, but I just want to just go off on a parallel a little bit, because have you heard what with audio, as you were saying, you hear the audio and the fish and the birds in the background. Have you ever heard of I don't know how to pronounce
Binaural.
it. Yes. So that's apparently, because I only know about this only this week, because I think this week's episode of Doctor Who, if you're in England, you can download or you can view a binaural version of the film of the episode, which
and then rewatch it again.
Yeah, and what binaural is that they've got two microphones and they're placed about the same as the human ears, apart like this, and it's supposed to be really, really immersive. You got to listen to it with headphones on, and I listened to there was a trailer on the BBC website, and look, I don't know if it was just really, really good, clear audio recording, but geez, it was pretty good. It was really good. Yep. So I was just wondering,
you find them in a lot of sleep apps. If you have trouble sleeping and you put these apps on that play the sound of waves crashing and birds and crickets and stuff, but they also have binaural, which is supposed to move the music around and help you sleep. It also helps you have vivid dreams.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that was so that was really good. So I could just imagine getting that sort of audio, and then with your vision. But what I wanted to ask you with that VR headset is, look, this is mine. This is my VR headset. Yeah. The old Google ones. The cardboard.
How much did yours cost?
$5 posted.
Mine was free.
Oh yeah, so yours are
better quality, but free.
Now, I want to know, because I know with mine, like I did, they look like you got binoculars. Now, I did download the, I think the Google or the Google apps or the vision for it, but it was all sort of more or less animated stuff. And the roller coaster, while yes, effective, I did feel the motion, the sway and the motion of it. But I found that, because the phone is so close to your eyes, did you find that it was really bright, and that you'd have a sensation of that this is probably not doing my eyes any good?
Not really with these ones. No, I think possibly because you've got this buffer between the phone and where your eyes are, and you're not as close as the other ones. Plus, they've got the padding and stuff on there. But no, I found them quite maybe a bit heavy on the nose, on the front of the face. Maybe you have to adjust the straps or something.
Right.
But no, I could sit in there for maybe a couple of hours or something. I didn't try that long because I haven't had the time yet. Maybe this weekend. But I had a few levels of the fishing game. Tried out swimming, as I said, with dolphins and stuff, and also Star Wars things, and a couple of games have got an Arkanoid clone where you move the bat at the bottom of the screen with your head.
Right.
You have to hit the ball going back and forward, so you get a bit of exercise in your neck.
So obviously that just integrates with the phones. The phone just senses where it is and what angles it's on.
Yeah, that's on the older games. On the newer ones, they support the controller now. This only just came out with the Samsung V8. The new Gear VR came out, and it's got push buttons, but it's also got a touchpad that you can slide around. It's got a trigger at the front, and it's got a back and a home button on there. So even while you've got the headset on, you can still feel around and know where to press the things, and that makes it a lot easier to use, because if you're shooting stuff, you can pull the trigger like this, or if you can go up and down, left and right, whereas on the older ones, which this still supports, it's got a D-pad on there with the touch, so you can slide up, slide down, slide forward and back, and it's got a home back button and volume as well.
Right.
But it's a bit weirder doing it on the side of your head than with a controller. Is much easier.
So
I found it quite fun. I haven't got nauseous as yet. I do feel a little bit weird after I've done it. You take them off and you're walking around the house and just sitting down doing something, and you just feel, well, I've had some weird experience recently. It's sort of in the back of your head, but I haven't had anything that's too much moving around. I've played Temple Run,
Yep.
You played that on an iPhone?
No, I
Same sort
haven't
of.
played it, but I know it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I love it. I actually coded a Temple Run variant for Minecraft that's had probably about 10,000 downloads by now, different versions over the years. And in that one, you use the controller to slide left, right, jump up, and slide down underneath things. And you've got a footpath that's moving and going around like this. And it's not super fast, but it's a decent speed. And I still didn't get any nausea or anything from that. So
yeah, I'm just looking there at the website. It does look pretty good. So there's a few versions of this out, is there? Because I was just, when I was searching it up, I saw there's a VR 2017. I guess, can you buy it?
That's my one.
Oh yeah, so you can buy it separately from Mobile City Online, $169.
Yep.
You can get the VR 2016, so that's obviously the old one.
Yeah, that doesn't come with a controller, but I think you can buy the controller separately and
Right.
Connect it to it. It's just a Bluetooth controller.
Right.
It's kind of like a Nintendo Wii as well, because you can move it up and down in the air to point at things, and it knows where it is spatially.
So do you think that, like, is there any, would I be able to go out and buy the headset and put the iPhone in it? Or is it only for the Samsungs?
This one's only for Samsung devices. It's specifically made for them as a promotion, but you can get devices that you can lock in, iPhones and things. These ones, they've actually, from what I can work out, have done a deal with Oculus. So you probably can't see on there, but it says Gear VR from Oculus.
Yes.
So if there's games that are made for Oculus Rift, most of them also available for the Gear VR, which is quite handy.
Nice. Well, I've only just got into headset gaming because I bought 2 headsets for the kids, and they love it. Yep. they're not actually talking to anyone yet. They've just put their 2 computers together, and they're talking to each other with their headsets on. And at least they're listening to the games that they love. It's got little lights on the side.
I was actually just thinking, not long ago, I was thinking, I should. I don't know. I had a Xbox 360, and I was thinking maybe I should get a new console or something. And then I thought, I'll try out the Gear VR. And now I've got it. I'm like, no, I think that's where my future gaming is going to be. All the stuff I've talked about so far is free in the Oculus store. You can pay for better games. They've got a Myst type game where you've got the click and move adventure games, and you do puzzles and things. They've got tons and tons of shoot 'em up and first person shooters and stuff like that, of course. But they've also got like an app store, Oculus App Store, where people have rated the games, and they also give you a rating on how comfortable it is to play in 3D. So they'll say if something makes you too nauseous, or if it's a nice, gentle app that doesn't really move about too much, and then you're less likely to get sick from that. So they give that kind of rating as well in the App Store. Yeah,
so because I thought, I was looking through, and I want to tell you about this as well, but I was looking through the Audi catalogue, and I saw this, and I think their last version of the 3D printer was quite popular. So now apparently this is the updated version. So it's on sale at Audi this week, Saturday the 13th of May. It's $400.
Yeah, our little one just started at a new school nearby, and we went for a walk through it with the principal at the start of the week, and they've got a 3D printer for the kids to print out some things as well. So I thought that was really good. It's a very, very small country school. And it's only got a couple of hundred kids there, but they got a 3D printer, and I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, and so I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool? Because I'd love to get it, but then you sit there and I'm thinking, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I was tempted. And I'm like, I don't think I'd print that much.
No, like $500. What am I going to do? Look, here's the accessories, so to speak. Each roll of filament is $35. That's high quality, 1.7 mil PLA filament available in assorted colours. It doesn't actually say 1 kilogram spool.
Yeah, yourself in and have a Aussie tech heads or Aussie big head.
Yeah,
and have the show. Hi, this is Glenn. How you doing?
Now
maybe you could do Will and Eric, and we could say, "What's your opinion? What do you think, Will?" Well, I think that's really good. Oh no, I hate it. It's not Apple. Oh yeah, Android's much better.
That's right. Have a little Punch and Judy off. Now, the only reason I brought that up is because Look, maybe if I had a spare couple of hundred, I might even, now that I see how excited you are about that headset, I might have to go and find one for the iPhone. Because I've seen that the black and white, well, not the black and white, but I've seen that, the animated one for the Google thing, and I got the sensation all right. So I'd really like to see a proper one. Yeah. And
I was watching a podcast today, and they went to a roller coaster in America, and what they do is they have the ride go through with someone holding onto like a Samsung Galaxy S8 and record all the movements of the roller coaster, and then they take it back, download all that data, then create a game around it. Then they put you back in and they put on the Gear VR with a Samsung phone in it and tie it to your face really tight. And they have cables on it that connect, and there's a Bluetooth device at the front of the carriage so it knows whereabouts you are on the track. And then when you're in there, you start off, you can see everything outside the roller coaster and stuff, and then they have a wormhole opens up, and then it becomes VR.
Oh, right.
And then you're out in space, inside a spaceship, and
wow.
as the roller coaster moves around and flips upside down, the spaceship that you're in spins around and moves upside down, shooting, and you can turn your head and shoot the alien spaceships and affect the game, and you can take it on a slightly different course and see different things, and they've got hidden power-ups and all this sort of stuff. So so that you go, people will go on a roller coaster, like, well, I've done that one.
Yeah.
But now you can do it in space, and then they can take that away, load up a different game, put that on you, and now you're going around somewhere else. They had one where you're in a plane or something that's about to crash, and Superman grabs on the front of it, and he's trying to save you, and he's flying backwards to get you out of danger, and there's all these explosions and stuff going wrong, and buildings toppling over, and Superman moves you out of it, but he's moving the same as the roller coaster ride motion.
Yeah, right.
So as he's moving the plane that you're in that's about to crash, you're feeling it because you're moving around in the seat on the roller coaster. So
that's
they give you the same. You can do the same roller coaster ride 10 times and have a different experience each time.
Yeah, that is cool. That's good. I think I might have to do a search for iPhone VR headset, see what I come up with. What was my last toy I bought? I bought some security cameras. That's right. So I might have to calm down for a while. But look, you can hear Aussie Tech Heads and other great podcasts on the TuneIn Radio app. That's a cross-platform app. Load that up and search for Aussie Tech Radio. If you get stuck and want more instructions, you might be able to find some at the AussieTechRadio.com. And you can also find us at Facebook and YouTube.com/Aussie Tech Heads, those sites respectively. And so let's get into some stories.
Well, just before that, one of the shows you might hear on Aussie Tech Radio is the Obsidian Loft Minecraft podcast, and I can, now that you're sitting down, and you're ready for this, there might be an episode in the pipeline just about ready to go, hot off the presses, and launch the next couple of days.
No way. Way. Oh, just as well.
We worked out it's been about 6 months since the last Obsidian Loft episode.
But
we actually did one a couple of nights ago, which is why we were trying to contact you at 10 o'clock, because I said maybe Glenn can get us the Zoom account so that we can log on there and do it. And then later on I remembered that they've been doing the other show Tuesday night anyway, so that it would have been already used. But
it wouldn't have been at 10.
No,
it would have been. I don't think so.
Oh,
no.
we recorded it from about 9:30 till 10.
Oh, right. Yep. Yeah. No, you should have. You should have texted it or texted it, and I probably would have. Would I have remembered it? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We got it recorded anyway.
Excellent. Good news.
It's going to be released in the next couple of days. As soon as I finish producing it, put on the intro and the outro and sound effects and music.
And what about the Old Fart Geeks? Any sign of a new episode there?
Not at this stage, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that something might happen. We're still a bit keen on that one, and people seem to like it. So we'll have to have. Do you know anyone who might want to guest on it?
Me?
Yeah. We'll let you know when we're available to do it, and we'll see if we can get you in that one too. Then.
Oh, there's a waiting. It's hard to get on these shows, isn't it? So,
I know, you need special VIP invitation.
I know, it's so hard. Now, look, I'm going to kick off this week with a story about Doctor Who and Skype. Now, I don't know, Jace, if you've been on top of this. But yeah, in a world first, users get the thrilling opportunity to be the Doctor's companion as the bot immerses them in specifically written 6-part Doctor Who adventure. So pretty much what you do is you... I think have I got a little thing for that? There we go. So what you do is you sign up, you subscribe to the Doctor Who bot on Skype. So you add a contact, whatever it is, Doctor Who bot, say, and then the Doctor starts typing to you, and you respond to him on Skype, and then it's like one of those make your own adventure sort of things where you can influence the story. So players will experience the Doctor communicating with them directly and setting you challenges that can only be solved by the best companions, and that's of course got to be you, hasn't it? So a new
it is me. Yes, I would be the best companion. You're right, Begley.
A new chapter will be released every Sunday just after the new series airs on the BBC each week. Now, the bot, apparently I never got this far into it, but the bot will feature exclusive voiceover from Peter Capaldi. Now, if you go to the show notes, you can add this Doctor Who bot into Skype. There's a few instructions and a link in the show notes that'll do it automatically for you. So have a look there, or you can just Google it, just Google Doctor Who bot. Now, I think that's all we have to do. To see new updates as they begin to roll out, users need to use the latest Skype account for Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, or the web. Now, blah, blah, blah. So that sounds pretty good. It was pretty good. I only got a few goes into it. I didn't have time, but I do want to follow that through, see how I go. See if I can save the universe.
I need to have a Doctor Who VR experience, right? So you put on your headset and you're there. He's like, run! And you have these men coming after you and Daleks and stuff.
Well, that would be good. And then flying through the time vortex. That would be good. And into the TARDIS. Yeah. The TARDIS doors.
I got a live... On Android, you can have what they call live wallpapers that animate. And I've got one that's just called Time Vortex, but you can guess what it's got. And it's spinning around and zooming down through the time vortex and has the lightning coming in from the sides and stuff. Yeah. You just have that in the background of your apps.
Yeah, that's all right. Look, you've really turned me on about this VR. I'm going to go and have to look for an iPhone one. All right. Well, that's my... it's only been 25 minutes. We've kicked the first story off, so that's good. Now,
way to go.
Way to go.
Might be an interesting show for once.
What's your first story of the week, Jace?
Apple plans to create a $1 billion fund to invest in US companies that perform advanced manufacturing, the iPhone maker's latest effort to show how it's creating US jobs. Tim Cook said Apple also plans to fund programs that could include teaching people how to write computer code to create apps. The announcements were the latest in a series of disclosures to highlight how Apple, the world's largest company by market valuation, contributes to job creation in the United States. Apple came under fire from President Donald Trump during his campaign because it makes the most of its products in China.
Yes.
Apple is highlighting its US presence at the same time lawmakers consider a major tax proposal by Trump that would let Apple, along with other large companies, bring back accumulated profits from overseas at potentially lower tax rates. 93% of Apple's $256.8 billion cash is held overseas. Cook, who met with lawmakers in Washington earlier this year to discuss tax policy and technology issues, said Apple would have to borrow the cash for its US manufacturing investment fund and said he was hopeful Trump administration would address the repatriation issue. Cook stopped short of saying Apple would bring some of its cash back into the United States if Trump's tax proposal was enacted.
I think
do the cheap tax thing. We might bring our money back, but then again, maybe not.
Yeah, I think that's what they're waiting for. I think a lot of companies are waiting for the I think the repatriation is going to be like something like 10% or something. That's the plan. Oh, I'm sorry if you said that. I was looking for pictures.
No. I was hearing apparently Bush tried a similar kind of thing, and so they brought money back, but they used it to buy back shares and stuff, and they didn't actually create any jobs with it. So they didn't do what was originally.
But it doesn't. I suppose it doesn't really matter. Like as long as the money, like for the economy, comes back into the economy, then if they want to give it to buy back shares to obviously to predominantly Americans, you would imagine. So a lot of American people have had their shares. They got more money. They spend more money and so on. And the circle goes back around, doesn't it?
Yep.
But that's how I see it anyway. But yeah, but
circle of life.
yeah, that's the circle of. When you think about it, like every dollar, right? Say to earn that dollar in your pocket, you've had to say earn $1.33. So when you spend that dollar, it's got GST of 10%, and that leaves that dollar then goes to the next person, who then loses 33% and 10% when they spend it. Then that goes to like how much tax is out there? It must be
keeps eating it away,
and we're still got a big deficit. Okay, Facebook. They might need to repatriate. They're hiring 3,000 new people to review their content. I think this comes on hot on the heels of a few bad videos that have been going around. Apparently, or with one of the videos of a guy being shot live, which was no good. So Mark Zuckerberg said that it has been heartbreaking to see people hurting themselves and others in video stream live on Facebook. He added he would make reporting problematic videos easier. The additional staff will be joining 4,500 existing people on the community operations team, and that would help the company respond more quickly when the content was reported. So what's that, 7,500? Well, you'd hopefully that they're going to, get a few, aren't you? Apparently, there's a story. Yeah, there was a story going around where there was a happening suicide attempt happening on the Facebook Live, and that was Facebook was alerted. They've alerted the police, and the police went round and stopped it. So it's worked. That's sort of worked. But I don't know. It's 7,500 people. Is that going to be enough? Because there's the next story that I've got here is Facebook nears 2 billion monthly users. So. Is 7,500 people.
You mean 2 billion?
I do. 2 billion users. The number of people using Facebook each month increased to 1.94 billion, of which nearly 1.3 billion use it daily. It's massive. So you would use yours daily, I'd imagine.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty much the
first. Posting all sorts of crap on there, whether people like it or not.
That's right. I will post to the death. Now, so it's. Well, I think most people, it's the first thing they look at when they wake up, and the last thing they look at when they go to bed. A quarter of the world's population uses Facebook every month, with most of the new users coming from outside of Europe and North America. Is that surprising? Maybe. No. I suppose it's just technology's just going around the world, isn't it? So So Facebook, they're trying to do the right thing. So good on them. That's good. Because apparently people were saying that the old routine where someone sees something they're not happy with, so they complain. So I'm not going to buy your advertisers' materials and all this. So he's trying to combat all that. What else you got down there, Jace?
Well, New South Wales police have charged 3 men with compromising 45 bank accounts through the credit card emulation function used for mobile payments to make $1.5 million in fraudulent purchases across Sydney.
Oh, geez.
The last year, the force has been... The force? How appropriate. Use the force, Luke. For the last year, the force has been investigating how host-based card emulation, HCE, which is a fundamental component of mobile tap-and-go payment applications, is being exploited by criminals. HCE allows NFC payments to emulate a credit or debit card and talk directly to an NFC reader. It was introduced in Android 4.4 and is a core element of the various mobile payment applications running on that platform. New South Wales police identified a sophisticated organised group that it claims have been porting mobile phones and compromising bank accounts through mobile payment applications. This enables them to use the HCE function to buy electronic and luxury goods, which they then sell on, police allege.
So that's been going on in Sydney. That's nasty.
Yes. I've got the Android Pay on my phone. I use that every now and then. It's just like a normal credit card. You just swipe it on a terminal and it'll charge your card through a virtual number that the merchant gets. But Usually these things are covered by insurance with the banks anyway, just like a Visa card. So I'm not too worried about it. But it's interesting to see that it's actually being exploited in the wild.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the problem with this contactless payments, isn't it? Like, it's crazy. But while they're stealing money, there's another person, and he calls himself. Let me see, the Dark Overlord. Menacing tones for the Dark Overlord. Now, the Dark Overlord has hacked into various TV studios. He's stolen series from broadcasters such as ABC, Fox, and National Geographic. His stolen episodes are believed to have been uploaded to file sharing sites across the net. As the Netflix, so he stole some shows from Netflix. I think he stole Orange is the New Black, something like that.
Yep.
He stole that and he put it out for ransom. He said, Netflix, you give me undisclosed amount or I'm going to share these, 8 or 9 new episodes that you haven't released yet into the wild. And Netflix told him to get nicked. And so there they go. They're out there somewhere. I don't know where. I didn't go looking for them. But apparently
Netflix,
they're out there.
dude, it's going to be on the torrents anyway. All of our stuff is. So,
but I think
good luck with that. You haven't got the whole series, so if you want to find out what happens at the end, you still have to subscribe.
Yeah, but I think that what Netflix does, because with their original content, they still release it weekly, don't they? They don't just go, or do they go bang with say 10 episodes?
Go bang. I haven't seen anything released weekly.
Yeah, okay. The FBI is also believed to be looking into the theft, which is believed to have taken place in late 2016. This Dark Overlord, apparently, and now he's been largely targeting hospitals and healthcare institutions. What the hell for? He must be after just IDs and stuff. Yeah, but
any information he can get. Usually, what happens with the movies, once they're finished filming and they're before final production, is they send it to a place to do ADR or automated dialogue replacement, and they add in some extra sound and voice and things to polish off the movie at the end, and they're usually like third-party companies. So if you can get into their intranet, because it's not quite as well protected as the movie companies, or do social engineering or something like that to get in the system, then that's where you'll get it from. They won't actually be going to Netflix's computers and hacking them and then getting the movies from them.
So the stolen shows include Triple X, Return of Xander Cage. Yeah. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and season 1 of Bill Nye Saves the World. Now, Netflix has said that there is some evidence that pre-release piracy is the most dangerous piracy to studios. So there you go. But yeah, you're right. Like, as soon as it's released, it's up on the torrents anyway. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's obviously a bad thing, but I don't know if it would hurt too many people. Like, is it on the torrents? I never even looked, to be honest.
I'd say so, yeah, but Netflix doesn't seem too worried about it. They're like, we made it. It's out there. People are watching it on Netflix. They're watching your ones. We're not going to pay you several $1 million to stop you doing this, or you're just going to do it again. We're
that's
encouraging
exactly right.
the future. So how about...
Yeah, it's not just him doing it again. It'll be other people doing it again.
Yeah.
All right. What else have you got, Jace?
Speaking of hacking, hackers are changing their modus operandi and spending a little bit more time and effort to make sure that they get the holy grail of admin access into a target systems. Raymond Shippers, as an IT security engineer with Checkpoint Software, has been seeing more and more instances of attackers specifically targeting IT administrators with the highest level access. While it requires a little more time spent scouring LinkedIn and effort to craft a cleverly distinguished phishing email, the payoff of successfully compromising an IT administrator is worth it. Rather than having to escalate privileges, you know exactly that your target has the privileges. He'll present in a particular case study at the Wacom Information Security Conference in Perth next week. Shippers recently helped a financial regulator in Europe work out how attackers managed to infiltrate and completely destroy its IT infrastructure. The regulator only realized it had been hacked after coming in one morning and finding that all its computers and servers no longer worked.
Oh, nice.
Working backwards, Shippers and the team were able to identify the point of entry, a compromised web server running WordPress.
They didn't
Keep
update.
it up to date, guys.
Yes.
Come on. That served as the launch pad for a specially crafted phishing email containing a malicious Excel file sent to the regulator's IT admins. The admins trusted the email because it came from the regulator's own infrastructure. Come on, guys. You're better than that.
Yes.
How often does your WordPress server email you, Clint?
Oh,
Really?
yeah. Look, I get
The
emails.
only emails I get from mine is WordPress has been updated.
Yes. I think. Well, I get emails from plugins that tell me that there's been 50,000 hacks that day, or attempted hacks. Trying to get in. But like you'd be surprised.
You don't think they'd be sending you an Excel and saying, "Hey, you need to open this immediately"?
Oh, look, WordPress is getting smarter and smarter. No, no, not really.
So they got in and exfiltrated as much data as they could. They were lucky that some of the logs survived and gave us information to work out where the bad guys moved through and the data they were after. And when they were finished, they destroyed everything in their track. Shippers said it took the regulator 6 weeks to fully restore its operations from tape backup.
But like you're right. Like, why would they be opening an Excel file? Are these guys? Who are these guys? They're admins. What are they doing?
Not very good ones.
No. Like even like I wouldn't open a file like that. Like if I got an Excel file from you, I might open it. Well, then I might not. But yeah.
Where's their antivirus software for starters?
Yeah. Well, I think look, Google's had a bit of a problem. I think with their stuff as well. Massive Google Docs phishing attack. It hits all the Gmail users. The message was sent to Gmail users includes an invitation to view a shared Google Docs document. And I guess, these things are getting pretty tricky because I suppose if it's the first time and you haven't heard, you don't listen to the shows like this and whatever, and you haven't heard about these things, well, who's this? I don't know. I might know him. I'll open that. Anyway, so it's a Google Docs email asked to be shared. Users are asked to log into their Google accounts by the malware, which doesn't ask for a password and appears to bypass two-factor authentication and signing in alerts. Now, after logging in to the fake Google Docs app, then it requests access to the user's Google account. If the user allows access, the worm will read all the contents and attempt to send itself out to the contacts and attempt to send itself out to them. The malware appears to access users' emails as well, which may contain sensitive data, passwords, resets, and all this sort of stuff. Google has confirmed the worm attack and is warning users not to click the phishing email. So I think after all this has happened, Google has, they're trying to block this email from even getting to the inboxes, which I'm sure they won't have too much trouble doing. But yes, there's a lot of this sort of stuff. And what do you just look after spam, Chase, or you doing phishing and whaling and all this?
We do a bit of everything now.
Bit of everything.
You start off with spam and the customers are like, well, since you're doing that, couldn't you maybe stop a bit of this virus stuff and worms and things too? And we'll chuck a bit of that in.
Yeah, so look, that's no good either. Bloody all this sort of stuff. And Michael from the Aussie Mac Zone, he was talking to me this morning about he received letters, from an actual company, a physical letter, and you get I think most people that have ever owned a business or had registered a domain will get these letters from like domainregistry.com or something saying, wouldn't you like to own this domain? It's a little variation of your own domain, or you got a .com.au
.info or something.
That's right, yeah. And they're saying, send us $250 and we'll register it for you. And I suppose his gripe was that, yes, well, you like with anything, you send invoices to big companies, there's a certain percentage that just get paid. And it's crazy. I know, I can't understand it. You wouldn't think so.
Remember when .mobi was all the rage? Oh, Mobi is out. You got to get that to a mobile version of your website. Everyone's going to be doing fantastic.
Yes, no good. And there was another bad one was the info, I think.
Yeah.
.info was a lot of garbage going on with that. Yeah, so just be careful about your what you're opening in your emails for sure. What's another scam? Was there another scam? Oh, I had a quick one. Yeah, the Can You Hear Me scam. Look, I'm not sure if we mentioned this before. I know we talked about it on the Aussie Tech Security podcast. But there's this scam going around, and apparently it's hit North Queensland, and it's obviously going to go around everywhere else. But there's people will ring you up on the phone, and then they say to you, "Can you hear me?" And you're going, "Yes." "Can you hear me?" "Yes." And what they're doing is they're recording your voice. They're recording your yeses. So potentially they can go away and play your yes into some automated sign-up system or something. So
do you agree to the terms and conditions to this contract? Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, that sounded like Glenn. Yeah, it definitely was you, our voice recognition, and even just listening, it sounds like you. But I was talking to the phone.
So look, apparently there's no documented cases of people having lost money, but you don't know. You know, how are you going to, how are you going to, like, if you've been scammed, right? You get the knock on the door or the phone call. Hey, look, your telephone bill or your credit card or whatever. You know, there's all these charges, and you go, they're not mine. I've been scammed, and yes, they've proven it's been scammed. But how hard is it to trace back that, you know, 2-3 months ago you said yes to someone on the phone that couldn't hear you?
Yeah.
You know, so that's bit of a
could be just Apple getting some samples to help train Siri better.
It could be. That Siri's hopeless. Fair dinkum hopeless.
Right.
What is it on the Android? What's she called, or what's he called?
Google. Okay, Google.
Oh, okay, right. Does that work better than Siri? It must, because Siri's stuffed.
You can do a lot more with it than you can, because, you know, Siri started out as a really great application. You could use it to book restaurants and stuff when it was an app in the App Store, and then Apple bought it, gutted everything out and started putting it into the phone, and then it got worse, and then it had less features, and slowly they put a few more features in it. But I don't think people are happy ever since Apple bought it, because it was really good before, and now it's just
stuffed,
basic, and half the time doesn't understand what you say. It's really good for asking questions like, what do you get if you divide 0 by 0? That's a funny one from Siri, but a lot of the other things is not that great.
Look, there's a few things that I've managed to get out of it, but it just seems to me like if you got your hands full and you do really want it to work, you want it to do something, it just won't do it. It just gets confused, and sometimes if I speak in a funny voice, it'll understand me better than when I'm speaking in a normal voice. But it's
okay, Siri. Can you set a reminder for this afternoon to buy some cigarettes?
Now that would work. She would go, no problems. Now the one that works best for me is the voice recorder in the SMS app, the Messenger app, the Message app.
Oh, okay.
Like, I can dictate into that thing, and it just understands everything, prints it all out. It is really good. You get to Siri, I didn't quite get that, Glenn. What are you talking about? You know, all this rubbish. But anyway.
Try again.
So, so this phone scam, they said, hitting North Queensland. It looks like it's going to go around Australia. The police have urged anyone who has fallen victim to the scam to contact the National Identity and Cyber Support Service, which is ID Care. There you go. And you can find that at idcare.org. I have never even seen that.
Stands for I don't care.
That's right, ID Care. I'm going to go have a look. idcare.org. Let's have a look and see what their website's all about. Oh, hang on. I mistyped. Hang on. Oh, well. Hang on. I want to see what's on there, if it's nice.
Do you even English?
idcare.org. There we go. It's not even a .org.au. It's .org. Here we go. Oh, yeah, it's not too bad. Oh, it's nice, probably.
It took a while to load. Have you got NBN?
No, it's coming. But look, that's a nice page, isn't it? Probably costs us 100,000. Yeah, but anyway, membership, join our program, credit reporting, toolbox. What's in the toolbox? ID Care Personal Toolbox. Simple tools to help you with a response plan. There we go. So, yeah, that might be worth having a look at, idcare.com. Oh, so it gives you some...
.org.
.org, yeah, sorry, IDCare. I got
come on, we're professionals.
I started reading the ID Care RSS news feed. Well, Donald Trump lashes back at Hillary Clinton's claims.
Yeah, I don't care about that one either.
No, tree felling scam warning. What's that? Let's have a look at this.
There you go.
Wellington police are advising the public to be wary following reports of individuals going door to door after offering tree felling services. Police understand those individuals are targeting Miramar at the moment are being very forceful in trying to secure tree felling work and repeat business. Why does it go to New Zealand? Often these services are blah, blah, blah. If someone comes to your door offering tree felling services or any other service that you do not require, the advice is to close the door and not engage with the person. If you do not need help with work around the house, please ask a trusted friend. Yeah, blah, blah. All right, cool.
I saw a ad once where they wanted tree fellers, but there was only one of me, so it wasn't any good.
Oh, ho, ho. Oh, we're on fire. Now, all right, let's move on to something more serious, Jace. What else have you got?
Well, speaking of serious, CSIRO is developing technology to export Australia's supply of gas and renewable energy in a form that can power next-generation hydrogen fuel cell transport.
Ooh.
Australia's prime research body said it's developing tech that will solve the problem of transporting hydrogen to bowsers that will refuel cars.
Yep.
The technology will also make it commercially viable to export hydrogen overseas as ammonia for use in fuel cells. Chair of Renewable Hydrogen, Brett Cooper, says CSIRO's new membrane technology can enable a new and potentially carbon-free export industry for Australia that could match the scale of the current liquid natural gas industry. With this technology, we can now deliver our renewable energy to Japan, Korea, and across the Asia-Pacific region in liquid form as renewable ammonia and effectively convert it back into pure hydrogen for cars, buses, power generation, and industrial processes. The market didn't exist 10 years ago. Now Australia is positioned to be the number one renewable fuel provider in the world's fastest growing region. Cars powered by hydrogen fuel cells are already on sale in Europe, and prototypes have been on the road for some time in Australia. There are cars that convert compressed hydrogen to electricity to power their motors. Hydrogen fuel cell powered vehicles can offer a better range than the conventional electric cars and faster refueling at around 5 to 10 minutes. These fuel cells can power a variety of commercial vehicles such as forklifts and even public transport buses. They already power buses in Foshan in China.
Yeah, right. I think because the hydrogen, I think, has been around for a little while, but I think the problem was, there was nowhere to fill up, so there's no good having cars. And it was like the chicken and the egg. You know, it was just, so that sounds good. Like, I think everyone would rather a more renewable source of energy rather than digging up coal and sucking the oil out of the earth. But so that's good. That's a good story. Let's hope that can progress and we'd all be driving hydrogen cars. Does it say with the grunt of the car if it maintains the same power? It probably would, I imagine.
I expect it would. Yeah,
I would say it would too. Now the same power isn't maintained with the new version of Windows 10. Yes. Why Microsoft do this, I know not. But
because they can.
But anyway, remember the old Vista days? There was about 1,000 versions of it, wasn't there? There was the Vista Home, the Vista Premium, a Home Premium, a Ultimates, a Professional, an Enterprise, and all this garbage.
The N version for developing countries.
That's right. And then there's just all this garbage ones.
Media Center version.
Yes, and the kiosk version.
Kiosk, yep.
Yeah. So anyway, Microsoft released a restricted version of Windows, calling it Windows 10S. Now that prevents users from running apps from untrusted sources. So I guess it's closing. It's closing the ecosystem. It's closing outside influences and therefore making the device a lot more safer from.
And you can get all your apps from the mostly tumbleweed-filled
Windows Store. So Windows 10S will only allow users to run applications from the Windows Store. So that's it. Okay, you can't just go and buy your Adobe Photoshop and plonk it in because it won't load. It won't install.
Can't go and download Chrome and stick it on your Windows because it won't work.
No, and at the moment you can't.
Edge.
Yes.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, yeah, good old Edge. And at the moment, the Chrome and Firefox aren't even in the Windows Store.
Nope.
So you got to wait for all this to happen. Now the Windows.
And what I was listening to today, even if you could install Chrome or Firefox because they put it in the store, Edge is going to be the default browser, and you will not be able to change that.
Oh, is this going back to remember when IE was a default? But didn't Microsoft learn their lesson from all this sort of stuff? You know,
No.
obviously not. Obviously not.
You're a bit optimistic for Microsoft there.
Well,
Come on, Microsoft learned something.
no.
Pull the other one.
So this Windows S is really a restricted version of Windows 10 Pro, because you are able to upgrade the S to the Pro, and apparently it's about $50. Like, why? Why?
And
Why?
when you first get it, for the first few weeks, you'll be able to upgrade for free. So,
Yeah, okay.
but apparently, what I was saying is it might end up being really good for schools, whereas kids will come in with a thumb drive or go to dodgywebsite.com and download something and screw up the school computers. So then you have to run the auto build and reinstall everything again. You won't have to worry about viruses. You won't have to worry about everyone installing Minecraft on there. You won't have to worry about keyloggers and stuff that the kids might be putting on and catch the head teacher's password so they can log in and do what they want. It'll all be just Windows Store apps and that's it. So bit of security for schools and businesses, which might be all right. Not much use for everybody else, but then nobody else is going to buy it.
Yeah, like I'm all for having a closed off system like that for schools and whatnot. But I just think, why can't you just have Windows 10 Pro and just flick the switch to make it the secure environment, or install it as this? Why charge? Like, I suppose that's the bit that I don't.
The Microsoft way.
I know, but you know, I just don't know if that's right. I just why, you know. Anyway, the apps are checked for security and run in a secure container. So apparently this is what happens now with the Windows 10 apps. They run in their own secure container. So this ensures
it's going to be like mini virtualized.
Yes, something like that, yes. So so that they're not going to mess with your registry. They're not going to leave files behind or cause problems with the rest of your PC. Now, Microsoft said the switch from Windows 10S to Pro is one way only. Users cannot revert back to 10S if they go to Pro. But there's no real info on how much this is going to be. I read further into this, and they said that they were trying to push this out on. They've just released their Surface laptop or something, and which is trying to compete with the Chromebook. And there's
really nice.
Yeah, well, yeah, it might look nice, and it's got the shiny Windows 10 shiny version on it. But how much are Chromebooks? Weren't they like $200 or something? And
I don't think they'll go that cheap.
No, the Windows Surfaces, they're up around 1,800 and 2,000. They're high. They're up around that. So I don't see why they're trying to, they're saying, we're trying to emulate the Chromebook. We see a market there. How can they? They're not.
That's right.
But anyway, it's crazy stuff. All right. Any more, Jace? We're just about there.
Yeah, got another one. Bungling under the National Broadband Network has left some remote users in the Kimberley, including a vital emergency services aviator operator, with no internet after working satellite was turned off without new services having been installed. Michael McConaughey, the Managing Director of aviation group HeliSpirit, based in Kununurra in northwestern Australia, said his experience with the NBN was bringing me to my knees as he faced the prospect of being forced to lay off some of his 90 staff as the business founded. We've been sold an absolute pup as far as the whole NBN system is concerned, with remote and regional Australia being left behind the rest of the country, Mr. McConaughey said. We are either not connected at all, or when we do get connections, it's intermittent and nowhere near the speeds we were promised. Two of HeliSpirit's bases at Penulu National Park and the Mitchell Plateau in the Kimberley have been left without internet connections, despite the company requesting NBN connections mid-last year, 8 months before the former satellite was turned off and replaced with the NBN SkyMuster satellite. The company called its service provider Ipstar weekly, sometimes twice a day, stating its connection needed to be installed before the end of October, when the wet season began and locations were not accessible by road. Despite HeliSpirit being repeatedly assured the connection would be completed on time, NBN technician Skybridge failed to attend the properties before the wet season, later citing a lack of access because of the weather. I had to laugh. We'd been telling them for months and months there was no road access in the wet season, said HeliSpirit employee Amy Petty. The company was now negotiating with NBN and Ipstar, offering to share the costs of having a helicopter fly in a technician and a satellite dish, but NBN had rejected its first approach.
That NBN. It's not
Bit of
just,
a joke. One of my friends has just had it come to his area, and they signed up. I think his was fiber to the curb or something, and then they had pre-existing HFC cabling that was dodgy and falling to bits, and NBN connected up there and said, "There you go, you got the NBN." And he's like, "No, the cabling inside the building is not up to scratch." They're like, "Well, that's not to do with us. We delivered the NBN to the building, and that's what we said we do." So off they went, and he's had to raise a few tickets with them to try and get the other parts of the cabling fixed, which is supposed to be under them, but they said, no, we're not going to do that. So he's had intermittent NBN on and off. Sometimes he can get up to, he's paying for 140, and sometimes he gets up to about 60-15 or something like that.
So what do you think is the problem? Like, is it, what is there? Just too many people on it? as funny as that sounds, or like, why are people?
I think a lot of the contractors are probably not up to snuff, and also this mixed technology was a terrible idea from the start. They might think it'd be a bit cheaper, but it just creates problems where you're converting from one thing to the next, and then back again, and changing digital analog and into Wi-Fi and wireless and back again.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just have cable that goes from here to there right into the modem, and that's it. Forget about the rest. The others are just too complicated and dodgy and prone to failure.
Well, I've just looked up my house on the NBN site again, and I'm still slated for July to December next year. So it's getting closer. Look, once 1st of July, I'll be happy, because then I can say, yes, I'm within a year. Come on. So yeah, look, a year to go. Well, not a year, because that'll be
maybe the start of where it might be.
Yeah, that's right. So, geez, I can't wait. But
a
then
year to a year and a half if you're really lucky.
But then we're doing HFC around here, so that's just different technology again, isn't it? Crazy. All right. Well, we're all looking forward to the next episode of your Obsidian Loft, Jace. So we'll keep our ear out for that.
We decided to shorten it. It seemed to go on for a bit long, and I think with the shorter version, it's nearly half the size of the other episodes. It'll be quick and easy to download, a lot more interesting information, and not us waffling on so much and doing tours of our server and stuff, which people are not really going to be interested in. So all the news and the interesting stuff we're talking about, and that's it. So it should be short and sweet.
Yeah, good stuff. And it's also going to be the Aussie Tech Security, another episode next week. So keep an eye out for that. Aussie Mac Zone as well. If you want to contact any of us, you don't know the email, just send it to me and I'll pass it on. Glenn at aussietechheads.com.au, or you got Warlock at aussietechheads.com.au, Michael at aussiemaczone.com.au, all that sort of stuff. Garth at aussiemaczone.com.au, and also the Aussie Tech Radio. Don't forget about that. And I think I've gone through the whole shebang. So that's another show and another week done and dusted. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for downloading. We appreciate it, and I hope you got something out of it, and hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for coming in, Jace. It's
May the force be with you.
Oh, thanks very much. I can feel it from here. All right, so we'll catch you all next time on the flip side. Hey, all right. Cheers, everyone. Bye for now. Ta-da.
Bye.